So, what you need to know about Chinese is that it's generally broken down into two main skills. The first is speaking and listening. The second is reading and writing. And it's totally up to you whether you want to spend more time on, say, writing characters or more time on speaking. And it also depends on your circumstances, because I live in China. I tend to spend a lot more time on speaking, and as a result my speaking and listening skills have progressed, much faster than my reading and writing skills, which are kind of bad. But you need to realize that these are completely different skills, and it's actually kind of funny because when you tell people, hey, yeah, I can speak some Chinese, they automatically think that just because you can speak the language, you can also read and write it, which is the case for a lot of other languages, but not with Chinese. Okay, so because these are two completely different skills, you need to treat them differently as well. Generally, you can't use one textbook for both. For example, for speaking and listening, I like to use the New Concept Chinese series. They have 4 books in total. This is number 2. This is number 3. They have some nice dialogues with romanized, everything is romanized, so it doesn't force you to have to read the characters. And they also have audios you can listen to. For reading and writing, maybe something like this. Reading and writing Chinese characters, very nice book, gives you 800 characters in total, and shows you how to write them and gives you the meaning and the pronunciation. Okay, so why do so many people give up on learning Chinese? One of the reasons, I believe, is that many people try to focus on reading and writing as much as they focus on speaking. And one of the easiest ways to get demotivated when learning Chinese is the sheer amount of characters you have to learn in order just to be able to read a simple sentence or even a children's book. So what I would say to that is focus on speaking first. You can make a lot of progress in speaking in only a few months, whereas reading and writing characters is going to take a lot longer. Reading and writing characters, you're going to have to get over that initial grind of grinding through the first few hundred, maybe 1,000 characters before your progress is going to go up and up and up. It's going to be very slow at the beginning. But with speaking, your progress is like this. So focus on speaking first. Alright, let's talk about some hacks you can use when learning Chinese. And the first one is for the dreaded tones. Okay, so tones. One of the mistakes people make when learning tones is that they try to learn the tone of each word separately out of context, when it's much easier to learn the flow of an entire sentence. Alright? So instead of trying to learn each tone on its own, 我要去北京, try to just learn the entire sentence. 我要去北京. It's much easier. And it's going to sound more natural to you. It's going to sound more natural to the people you're speaking to. And it's just a much better way of learning. There's no point in learning the words out of context, and therefore the tone out of context. Just learn how the whole sentence flows together. Okay, so another tip for learning Chinese is to choose your resources wisely. There are plenty of textbooks out there which like to really overcomplicate simple things, and it can really just break your brain, and this is not good. So remember, when you're learning tones, you don't need to study tables like this in order to understand the tones. Tones are something that you hear, something that you need to get used to. When you're learning pinyin, you don't need to read explanations like this. Bu is pronounced in the second tone when it precedes another fourth tone, or a neutral tone that is originally a fourth tone. But it is pronounced in the fourth tone when it precedes a first, second, or third tone. You just need to get used to it, because it's very easy actually, and it doesn't need to take a lot of time. Another thing about Chinese is the grammar. Reading complicated grammar explanations is just going to hurt your brain, when in reality you just need to assimilate it. You just need to get used to it through speaking, through making mistakes, through listening a lot, and that's what's going to help you the most. So when you start out, choose books which are light on content. You want books which are going to teach you lots of words, which are going to have lots of dialogues in, but you don't want books that have overcomplicated grammar explanations and silly things like this. So choose something like